Okay. Yeah. So we are adding all the tabs currently, and as Arunish already mentioned, we'll add the descriptions for all the work streams and the workflow as to how to join those work streams. As of now, what we were following was at the end of the meeting, based on our presentation, any new members could reach out to the workstream leads and they could join that. Another thing from the content point of view, I've been working on uh, so we are uploading all these meeting recordings on YouTube, and I've been working on creating small snippets which we'll be uploading as shorts so that it reaches a wider audience. uh, I already have some shorts made for call 2 and call 4, which we will be rolling out slowly in this week and next week. uh, to also, starting from next week, we will be highlighting particular work streams as uh, we will be highlighting particular work streams each week, like a couple or three work streams, and a few members who have worked in that work stream can present their work, which would again be converted into shorts later on. So yeah, that's the content idea for now, and we uh, we have open volunteering for our web page. So we want it, as Arunish already mentioned, we want to have a functional WordPress or some sort of web page for all of our content.
So just to give like a precursor or more of a summary, what we have, right? So initially when OWASP actually creates a project page, it's only a main section, right? And putting everything into one particular page is not conducive to absorb all of this information. So what we have been doing is breaking out to like multiple areas, what the roadmap is, focus on the news and how to actually join, focus on the sponsorship itself, and also the events which are going to be upcoming. Like Washington DC is definitely one of the next event that we have, and I would probably encourage folks at least who have been involved in the project for some time to look at local events in their specific geographies itself, to talk about the project in multiple domains, right? And there's a new tab that Anmol just added, which is focus on the guidance itself, right? So it's good to actually focus on the work stream, but until unless you can actually provide some guidance to the industry, it doesn't serve anybody any good, right? So this particular page is going to actually start building up as we go along. And if anybody has any comments on this one, the structure, and again, we realize that doing it this way is not conducive for the longer term itself. So we are going to be looking at doing WordPress or something similar so that information is absorbed. There's going to be webinars and podcasts and blogs that's going to be published as part of this one. And with a couple of sponsors, which I've already actually confirmed, when the money starts coming in, we can actually take some next steps in terms of like spending some money for the right reason itself. I see there are two hands up. Victor, you went first.
Yeah, just one. I've been an OWASP member for less than a year. So in the local OWASP meeting, typically they have a like sponsored speaker. So I wonder, probably it'd be great to create either a one pager or something on this website I can point to, because after, for example, the promo presentation, I can say there's this initiative, and come join us. And if not, what can you look for and things like that.
Actually, a good point, right? I think I'm also part of like another project called AI Exchange, and one of the things that we have done is rules of engagement. If you are speaking to different communities, different conferences, and so that's going to be there, and also giving or creating some sort of a template that you can actually use to promote this one, whether you are doing a speaking engagement or something, right? So definitely that should be action within a week or so. Uh, and I think I like the idea for a one pager. Maybe I can actually just ping you offline after this particular call so we can actually work on this, understand your requirements, and build something which is specific on those lines. Raymond, do you have your hand up?
Yeah. So the first one is that I'm still trying to get my head around this. What is is there a central sort of, what's the source of truth on this project? Is it the website, or is there right now something else, the GitHub or something, that's holding, I'm trying to get up to speed with what's going on. Where should I be looking? And where should I be pointing other people to look if the website isn't the current source of truth?
I think you can think like the website is more of like a front face of the project, right? And
Okay.
it's only something which is sanctioned. Anything which is happening like behind the scenes at the workstream level, those are within the workstream. There's going to be a Google Doc for all those things. There is one particular page, I believe we added that particular link. Let me see if we have the page for that particular document. If not, we'll add that. So there is a specific Google Doc. Let me see if I can actually share it somehow. But there is a specific Google Doc which actually has the high level deliverables for the project, and there is like a section which is for every work stream, right? Like all the 10 work streams, we would have like a section on that one.
Okay, and that's something that we can point interested people to, or basically I'm thinking if we're trying to get people interested in coming to join, where do I point them that has the current actual information on it beyond what's on the website?
Okay, so I think like for people to join, I think definitely share the front page for the project itself, which talks
Right.
about the high level goals that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Once they join and they become like part of a work stream, the work stream leads can actually give them access to that particular document itself, right?
Okay. Okay.
The Google
So
Doc is not like a editable by the community itself. It's kind of exclusive for people who are contributing towards the project, right? We just want to
okay.
ensure like the collaborative effort is kind of maintained. Community can have like a view only mode, but
Yeah.
if you're like collaborating and editing,
Yeah.
that's going to be exclusive for workstream leads and also workstream team members.
Okay. I might ping you offline because I think there's something we're not quite. I'm not quite posing the question quite right. The second question I had was that is the present. Do you know if the presentation you're giving later this week at the OWASP event in DC is that being recorded or otherwise available? I only ask because the AAAI4 symposium is on at exactly the same time, and I'm presenting there, so I'll miss the I'll miss the OWASP one.
I think OWASP so I've done like 3 presentations last year. I think all those things are recorded, but
Okay.
it takes almost like 1.5 months for all those
Okay.
things to be posted on YouTube.
Okay.
Uh, and I think like this is more of introductory stuff for AI Exchange and
Oh.
AI bomb itself, right?
Okay.
There's going to be some merit on that one. I think it's good for a new members getting attracted toward that particular project or set of projects itself. So
Mhm.
so to answer question that I think the recording would be available on OWASP channel itself, and we
Okay.
can actually reshare once those are made live through different channels.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Okay, so this is the page. This is the channel for YouTube. Coming back to this one, we kind of covered the content itself. The foundational best practices. You want to cover it?
Sure. Yes, I think in the last couple of weeks we have made some good progress. We are also addressing some of the questions that came up in this call. So there's also going to be a section that's going to uh, take from the prerequisites work stream and look at what are some of the differences between the work that's already there with the Cyclone DX or the SPDX, for example. So that's also going to be there as part of this after the executive summary and so on. We also completed the AI bill of material lifecycle, which is also some of the elements still coming from the Cyclone DX. We have also cross-referenced that. Like I said, starting this week, we should also look at how we can cross-map and get inputs from other work streams, specifically formats and prerequisites work stream. And I also will connect with the content team to look at the organization of the document and see where we can work together on getting the structure right, and then the contents can continue to flow in.
Awesome, thank you, Yuvi. Any questions, Raymond, Arthit, on this one?
Okay,
Any
thanks.
feedback?
So I'm sorry. Oh, I'm wondering if this is where things like definitions and the like live, and whether this is also where things like crosswalks to other efforts live. Again, I'm sort of going back and forth with the page trying to figure out which work stream that kind of thing works best in. What do you think? Like, for instance, crosswalking this to the CISA efforts, crosswalking this to SPDX, crosswalking this to things like the EU AI Act. Where does that live? Is this the place?
Because this will be the sort of the first release that we are looking at, it should at least address what are some of the differences and how we are planning to build on top of the existing content and existing work that is out there. And I think that's going to be a question for the reader to start with. So there is going to be a small section, not in depth, to the granularity where we can say this is exactly the tag that is differing, but from a motivation perspective, how does the AI Bill of Material project differentiate, and how does it build on top of existing content and work is what it will address.
Okay.
So I think to answer your question, Raymond, there is a specific work stream which is focused on the collaboration and alliances itself. So that particular area is going to be focused on the industry collaboration, company collaboration itself, right? Let's say it's a company wants to actually contribute or consume. The same thing is for academic institutions, talking about Tiger Team, SPDX, and other foundations which are working on something similar, like bringing all these parties together and grow together, right?
I agree. I guess the question I'm trying to figure out the boundaries, right? So what you described is OWASP going out to these organizations and talking with them and working with them, right? Once that happens and it comes back, turning that into information that OWASP then pushes out. And again, I'm sort of crosswalking the presentation with the website and looking at the target audience field. It's basically, again, my thing is about definitions and crosswalks and bringing these different standards together. And I'm just curious whether this is where this is the one that I need to pay more attention to. Really, is where I'm trying to go with that.
I think that's the aim, right?
Okay.
And I think my original aim was there are all these foundations which are doing some great work, right? Talking about the formats and the tooling itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there is a layer 3 and a layer 4, which is far more important than just the foundation layers, right?
Yep.
And if we can actually be that particular driving force to achieve that one, I would say we would have achieved the intended goals, right? It's more of operationalizing at a much bigger level itself, right?
No, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree, and I'll do a bit more reading of your stuff and go from there. Yeah, please continue.
And I think I like the way you are thinking more of an end user itself, instead of being confused. Okay, there are 50 different areas to focus on.
Right.
How do you actually centralize all that information?
Exactly.
Centralized repository, maybe through a page or a set of pages itself, right? So this is intended exactly on those lines.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's I guess the answer is yes in that case, which is
so if I were to just request, maybe you should also get involved if there is bandwidth on your end on a content itself, right? In whatever capacity, right? Like providing guidance in terms of usability itself, because that's going to be important, right? Like we are kind of building as we go along, but I think if somebody has views and strong views on doing it, we can actually ensure those things are taken into perspective.
I can try. I'll join a few more calls first and get a better feel for how things work before I start saying too much more on that.
Perfect. Awesome. So this is another aspect from a policy perspective. I think you touched upon EU AI Act, for example, right? Like you pick up any policy, any regulation out there, there is emphasis on building something or giving a view of how that foundation model or how the RAG or anything, how the AI is getting consumed within that application structure. So this particular work stream is actually focused on the policy and engaging with the policymakers, both in US and Europe and South Asia, Middle East, all those things, right? So right now, this is not has taken the shape where we are actually doing the outreach at scale itself, but this is going to start taking shape in the next 2 or 3 weeks itself, right? ensuring once we have like a critical mass or critical content already created, that's the time where we actually start like pivoting or like reaching out to different policymakers. Just for record's sake, I actually attended like open source congress in Brussels almost like a month ago. So these are going to be the kind of forums where we need to actually tap in, attract like policymakers to get associated with us. So if we just talk about the functional areas for the policy, right? So have like a global pulse on this one and actually read through the kind of goals that we have, the policy engagement with different policymakers and the outreach and influence itself, right? So we are doing it, but if we are just doing in isolation, we are not doing enough justice to the project itself, right? So the outreach is going to be extremely important. We would have like more input on this one in the next call, or maybe the next to next call on this one, as we are like getting ready to actually take it to the masses itself. And the presentation at OWASP DC itself is also geared towards the same direction to ensure we are attracting more and more people to the project. We are pitching to the policymakers and also like doing an outreach and the collaborations. From a collaboration perspective, I think these are like some of the goals that we have. Uh, at least before I go this route itself. So there are like a lot of other projects, not just within OWASP, which are actually reaching out and talking about, okay, maybe you should actually speak to this foundation or this particular group from the Gen AI project. So Steve actually reached out to saying there are a couple of banks in New Zealand and Australia which actually wants to actually contribute. So we are creating those visibility and collaboration platform where we can actually collaborate with institutions, foundations, academic institutions, right? So this is just one of the examples that just came about, which I want to highlight. And again, like from a goals for the collaboration or the alliances stuff is like industry partnership itself. The second thing, Raymond, you actually mentioned for the academic collaboration. I'm speaking to actually 3 universities right now where I'm looking to see if this can become part of their curriculum, or maybe we can actually have some speaking engagement or speaking to the student itself, right? And the intent is not just looking at the students, it's also looking at the researchers which are actually working on this one at a much deeper level, right? Right now, what we are doing is more high level, but if you really want to actually dig deeper, right? So you want to actually tap into the research community where this is being done at a much deeper level.
Yeah. I think that goes both ways, right? Because we also want to make sure that whatever guidance is being issued here is compatible with what's coming down the pipeline, right? Especially if what's coming down the pipeline has a good chance of solving some of the risk management issues that we see nowadays. So.
And I think it's interesting that you mentioned about the crosswalk. I think what you see the third aspect is the cross-sector collaboration, right? I mean, like it's not saying that we are collaborating with other foundations and other areas, but I think that's the intent, right? Not just being exclusive to 1 or 2 foundations or 1 or 2 working groups. It's like collaborating across the board. From a sponsorship perspective, I think for any open source project, it's important to actually focus on this one. If you want to scale a project beyond in small silo itself, if you want to take it to the world stage itself, you actually need to ensure you're getting like sponsorship dollars for the project, whether it's for the website, whether it's a promo, whether it's I'm not sure like if I showed this in the last call, but these are like 2 stickers that we are actually distributing at different conferences. So I presented at IAPP a couple of days ago. These stickers and merch is going to be distributed in DC also. Not sure if you can actually see this one. This is the sticker for AI bomb, and also for ensuring we can actually speak at different conferences, and if somebody's employer is not able to actually reimburse or cover the T&E, the sponsorship dollars goes towards that particular direction. So I'm speaking to 3 other like potential sponsoring companies. One of them is like a major player out there. I cannot share the name on this particular call. So we have like a pipeline of at least 5 different sponsoring companies out there. And only when something is formalized, the legal paperwork is done, I'll be able to actually share more information on this particular call. So the intent is raising at least like a 50,000 for the project by end of the year, which I think we will definitely meet, and this particular pool is going to grow a lot more in 2026. And again, like if you or somebody that you know is part of like this particular effort, of a company, definitely actually connect them directly to me. I'll take that particular conversation to the next level. I see, Victor, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I know. If you have time, I think it would be great if you can maybe just present on the sponsorship part to the SPDX meeting, because there's that's the thing. I think SPDX community usually is big companies, so has not reached out like you did. So excellent job. I think so. Maybe if you can present there, then maybe able to reach out the big players to get funding.
Sure. I mean, like let's do one thing. I'll actually do a like offline conversation with you and Raymond individually and talk about like different ideas that you have and how we can actually actualize those things.
Yeah.
And if you go to the project page, there is a section for sponsorship. There is a link to the sponsorship deck that we have created. I think it's version 1.2 right now. It has a lot of messaging and the advantages for the companies to sponsor for the project. I know we only have like 3 minutes left. I'm just going to speed through. So sponsorship, there are two levels. There is a silver level sponsorship and a gold sponsor level. I would be inclined of creating like a platinum eventually in the next 3 months. But right now, this is the focus area to ensure that we can actually, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. So gold sponsor and the silver sponsor, and there are like advantages of coming at different levels. If you're a small player, small entity, I think like going for a silver sponsor is important. But if you're like a big player out there in the Fortune 500 or Fortune 1000, this is the one that you should actually aim for. From a call to action perspective, and again, there are two things that's going to be on my radar is like volunteer for the website development and hosting. If you have experience in that particular area, if you have like some free cycles, definitely get involved. And I see like Raymond is already like say no. But we're going to be looking at either companies or volunteers who can actually help in this respect. And there's also going to be a requirement once we have a critical mass for the content, is ensuring the content that we are creating is there not just in English, in other languages, so that it's can be consumed in other regions also. And this is similar to what the Gen AI project does, right? So their content is not just English, but Japanese, Chinese, and different other languages. So this actually brings us close to the end of the presentation itself. I know we have like 2 minutes. I'm going to unshare my screen. Hopefully it's not going to stop recording. Any questions, any ideas that we didn't actually cover already? I know, John, you actually joined a little late. Anything from your end?
I do have experience of building out, hosting secure website and infrastructure. Happy to help.
Oh,
And yeah, and I know some college programs that are interested in such things. But yeah, no, it's looking great.
oh, that's good. So again, like I'll actually reach out to you individually on this one because this is going to be an important area from uplifting of the basic website that we have to something which is more modern.
Yeah, and there's some easy, free, cheap, secure hosting solutions. Yeah, I look forward to it. It's not what I love to do, but I definitely am experienced in it.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think once we have the first tranche of the money coming into the project, it's actually going through invoicing right now. Once all that is done, we'll have access to the money to spend. Raymond, you have your hand up.
Just a comment, I have taken the liberty of adding an item to the agenda for tomorrow's SPDX meeting, potential guests from the OWASP AIBOM Project. So we expect to see at least one of you there.
Okay. I'm like, no pressure.
Yep, no pressure, no pressure. Yeah, it's 3 to 4 p.m. US Eastern time, I believe. Victor or someone has posted the Zoom link. Yeah, Victor posted the Zoom link to the chat already.
Okay.
Also, I think I missed something. Are the minutes for these calls somewhere?
Yeah. So we have like a plugin through YouTube. We kind of minute all this, and this is presented or captured in the Google Doc.
Oh,
that
okay.
I-
So I still don't have access to that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, what we'll do is like we'll update that on our website itself.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
I was just trying to look through the past minutes and failed, so I wasn't sure if I
Yeah.
was just not looking in the right place. Okay. Thank you.
And I think one of the things I would say, Vinik, in the spirit of collaboration, we are like still a young project, but I think the aim is much higher, and we are actually driving towards that. I think there are a few things which have already been accomplished, and I think as we go along, we'll ensure like this is more of a very, very mature project. Everything that you would expect from a mature project is going to be part of this. And I think like that free channel, free communication is going to be important in that respect. So. And I know like we are 1 minute over. Any parting thoughts, anything? If not, we can actually close the call. And I should have actually announced it initial part of the call. All these calls are recorded. So it's too late for that.
Ooh, actually, so one other thing I completely forgot to mention. I'm not sure if you're aware. There's actually the CISA AI bomb folks are also standing up a separate OWASP group for Gen AI. I think Helen Oakley is working on that. Just in case you weren't aware, but that's a separate thing.
Yeah, I think actually somebody from us actually reached out
Yep. Okay.
for like
Cool.
a sub initiative. I
Okay.
think.
So you were aware of that.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. See
Okay.
you
Thank you.
in 1 week. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay.
Or tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow is definitely there, but I think for this call it's going to be
Yes.
perfect.
Okay. Bye.
All right. Thank you.